Shit. Ninja? Ninja!
Tonight's episode, that was no lady.
All right, welcome. And let's open up the video here. Drop that over here. I want to say thanks to Mom at Arms for giving us the thumbnail to this one today. So we'll drop that link in here. Video here. Over here, I want to say thanks to Mom at Arms for giving us the thumbnail to this one. Do that. Move this guy. And let's start a poll going. Will win today? Yes or no? Boom. Here we go. So when we open up these chats, what we'll do now, since it's kind of over, we only got a couple of days left, we will just open up the two comment periods, both the redefinition of firearms and the pistol brace one, and then I'll edit this video so that we can update the numbers as a running thing. And what? Maybe I got bad links. Do I got bad links? Oh, I might have bad links. Oh, I got bad links. So that's my fault for not setting this thing up goodly. Go over here, grab this, go over there. I'm gonna grab this one. No, we can grab that one. That's got the good numbers. I just grabbed it poorly. Yeah, there we go. So let me grab these. Seriously, copy, push it down over here, paste. No. Try that again. Copy, paste. All right. See, it does this weird thing. So I gotta screw this all up. There you go, a little bit of behind the scenes of how you put together a YouTube video. We'll save that. We'll go back to watching the video. Now, there you go, a little bit of the scenes of how you put together a YouTube video. Close that. Save that. Shut that guy up. Go back over here and open this up and open this up. And now they'll work. You're welcome. All right, so we'll go over here. We'll go over here. And now we'll go back and edit the video so that we can update the numbers, which is what I was trying to do in the first place. So yesterday we had 219,000. It was only 100,000 in a couple of days. No big deal. And then now it is 226,313. 226,313. All right, so it looks like it's up 6,000-ish. 6,000 comments overnight. No big deal. Just 6,000 comments overnight. We can take a sample set of those, right? Not kinda, not really. So let's see, it went up from 149. So we'll take that and we'll drop it right here. And then we'll see it went up to 153.53. Interesting. 153.53. So what that's telling us is that they brought in another 10,000 comments, but they received 20,000. They're capable of updating more. So should we interpret that they're not accepting Shan Shan's boilerplate? That's a lot of being optimistic. We'll use that as one of our 25 creative excuses for not leaving a comment. We probably don't need to, right? Number one, we probably don't need to. It's probably not even a big deal. Let's real quick go look at the pistol brace one. Again, don't worry about the pistol brace one. If you already made a comment, go back and erase it, because really the industry will save us on this one. There's nothing to worry about with this one. Absolutely nothing to worry about. So we were at 130,770. Yeah, that was up 1,000 or whatever from the 3 days. No big deal. And then now we're at 1,013,1221. So what is that? Up 1,000? No, it's up about 400. Nice. So yeah, we don't even have anything to worry about. So one of the excuses for not leaving ATF comments for the redefinition of firearms, because we got the pistol braces still. So they're not infringing on pistol braces all that much yet. So why should we worry about redefinition of firearms? It's no big deal. So let's see, 12795. Oh, 300 comments. 127,95. All right, that's my work is done. I've now updated the description of this video in front of y'all, so you know that it's real. And there's updated numbers. Now let's go evaluate those numbers. Description of this video. I think we still need like 23 creative excuses for not leaving any comments. So we went from 200,000, 953, which is only like 47 shy of being 220,000. Let's just call that 220,000. So we're up 6,313. No big deal. Those are probably all pro gun ones. We'll go verify that immediately here. Otherwise, the pistol brace one, the industry's taking care of us on that one. They got our backs. They've added almost 400 comments. So yeah, we're fine with that. And then looks like the ATF, regulations.gov approved 300 of them. So we're good. We don't even have to worry about it. Don't even think about pistol braces. Just think about what pistol brace you're going to buy. That's what you ought to be thinking about. And let's see if anybody's showing up for this. We got Sam. Morning. Comes in. Grandpa. Morning. Clovertack's out there. I didn't leave a comment since renouncing my affirmation of the two. I have come to believe the ATF probably knows what's best. That's a good point. That's a good one. 25 great excuses. ATF knows what's best for us. Why would they be in a position of power and authority if they didn't know what's best for us? Good point. So is there going to be a prize for the best 25 best creative excuses? If there is, this dude is the only one. So not only is it the best one so far, it's the only one so far. So now what I'm definitely noticing, I don't need to be in here, so we'll get rid of that. Let's go. Let's go see if we can determine how many of that 6,000 comments are actually what they are, pro or anti. So here's how I do it. I go over to the comments page and then I flip it to be sorted by newest to oldest. And I can do this in my sleep now. I right click and open 25 of the most recent comments that have come in to the ATF and been approved by regulations.gov. I feel like the people at regulations.gov are the real heroes here. Those are the people that are unsung, right? They're the ones that are really deserve our respect and support. Actually, I don't have any idea who that is. Maybe it's just robots. Maybe it's a bunch of Al Gore's rhythms in a old Windows 95. Maybe it's probably Windows NT mainframe somewhere. All right, so I'm opening up these comments, and here's what I'm going to do. Because I know that these comments are going to probably be frustrating. Either they're going to be horrible disappointment, or they'll be frustrating, or they'll be reason for unnecessary optimism. So I'm going to go to page 5, which is an odd number, and it's a decent number. It's caught a mosquito in right out of the air. That's how I would have known if we were going to win. But it got away, just like the excuses for the not making comments. All right, so now I'm opening up another 25 from page 5. So never been to a statistics class, but I'm guessing that this is the most random way to get actual numbers. I go into the first page and then go into some subsequent odd number page and grabbing the things. Here's the deal. Is the ATF strategically stacking these things so that they know I'm going to pick an odd number page? Maybe I should pick an even number page. not going to, though, because then I think the ATF would know that I'm going to think about that and then put the stacked ones on the even number pages. Not falling for it. All right, there's 50 of them. All right, now let's see if we got anything else going on. If Hickok is not talking about the ATF thing, can it really? Oh, it's an awesome. That's not even an excuse. That's like solid. That's logic right there. He is the beacon of 2A in the gun community online and should follow his lead, right? Well, he's not the only one, but yeah, certainly the richest. No, I mean not the richest even anymore, but he's certainly the tallest of them, maybe. What's stupid? There's even categories for races. There's just the same stock. They just don't change the rate of fire. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to get to, I guess, be offended by the reasoning for even creating laws against races, but just going back to work. It's super hard to leave a comment when you get up, go to work, come home, watch sports, deal with family, play video games, go to bed, and do it all again. You're asking way too much people. It's a good point. There's hardly any time in a day to get something like a comment in. If only there was a button you could push someplace. All right, so next, I don't know if anybody wants to try to keep up. Sometimes Woods is able to do it, but we can see that we're starting off with an anti one. So I wish I had one of them. I used to have a thingy for sports where you would click a button and it would keep track of stuff for you. All right, well, here we go. Anti, pro, anti, pro, anti. Okay, this is going to be difficult. I'm not going to make it big enough to read because I can get more tabs. Wait, can I get more tabs? I guess it doesn't matter. So yeah, I can make it big enough for y'all to read. All right, so pro, a second. Pro, no. Hold on. Fuckers. It's a new anti. Shit. Anti-fuckers. They got new ones. Anti. They got us. They got us with a new one. Anti. Pro, anti, That's not looking good. This is a lot more antis than we had last time. Anti, pro, anti, pro, anti. Is there a way to just tab through the tabs? Anti. Will tab through the tabs? No. Arrows? No. Shift arrow? Is there a way to tab through tabs? Somebody knows how to tab through tabs out there. I guess I have to show your screens to be able to see that. Anti. I guess if I do this, then I can't see it for no reason. So back to there. Anti, pro, anti, wait, yeah, anti, pro, anti, that's going to be tough. There's no way, I guess, is it going to be possible for them to put a AI on this? I don't know. I think they're going to have somebody read 100,000 comments. What a waste of time. 200,000. What am I saying? Holy crap. That seems like, I don't know if anybody was counting. That seems like it was way against us. Way against us. I don't know what that was. That was bad. So that was 50. If anybody was counting, I'll do it again. But if nobody's counting, then I'll quit wasting everybody's time. That was definitely against us. So yeah, now we definitely have to come up with excuses to make it look like we couldn't have won anyway, right? Like, oh, it was against us from the beginning. We couldn't have ever won, right? There are children all over this country who have bad teeth and desperately need braces. And here we're talking about giving braces to pistols? Really? Okay, I think that's the best one. I think that is a good one. Just think of the children with bad teeth. Exactly. The anti are just copy and paste, or they self-written? It doesn't matter, because what they are is there's two of them now, but they are boilerplate. Here's how you can figure them out. You go to, like, I hate other people's rights. I shouldn't type that into a search engine properly, so I'll just type in every town, which is basically this everything. Same thing. So then, let's say you went to every town for different types of violence. Tell the ATF to regulate ghost guns. They may be the scariest and fastest growing gun safety threat in the country, allowing anyone to make untraceable weapon in less than an hour. Just anybody. Now the federal blah, blah, blah is asking for the public to weigh in on a proposed rule that will help stop the spread of these ghost guns and save lives. Here's a picture of a ghost gun. It's ghosty looking. We have a plan to end gun violence. And look, they're all optimistic. And like, instead of coming up with excuses and hate, they're all like, oh, here, you can save them from themselves. And we can do that with the force of government. So let's click a button. And then, oh, look, I can just type in your name and your last name and your email. And that's all you got to do. Of course, I can be clicked in so Bloomberg knows my shit and, bothers me in the future. And I can leave it in fast action, which is, what is fast action anyway? A little pop-up comes up over here and says, this is a safe and secure way to collect your data, right? And payment information, allowing you to show your support in the future with just a single click. So go ahead and just leave your info. We'll take care of that for you. You can leave your money with Bloomberg. He's the 20th richest person on the planet. And then you can use your socials, never have to log out or nothing. And then I can always support Shan Shan by click of a button. You can just click on Shan Shan. I call it fast action to Shan Shan. So then, yeah, I want to definitely be signed up. So I've got that fax action. Leave that lock on there. I would definitely want to volunteer. And I'm not a student in this actual sense of paying money to a school, but I'm a student of life. I'm a graduate of life. So then, do you identify as a survivor? I've had to watch plenty of movies, and also I've heard the stories on NPR, so I feel like yes. And then by providing my phone number, blah, 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 whatever. I don't care about reading all this because Shan Shan's got my back. And then blah, blah, blah. And then this is a win. I like everything about this being positive, and it's a win, and the government is going to finally jackboot them extremists. And then I can type in whatever blather I want right at the end of there. Or in the middle, like I can go, ghost guns are scary and smell like poop. Right in the middle of it. Oh, look, I can even spell check it because I can't spell good. And then boom. Oh, by the way, it's going to put all your information at the end. Who cares? So click submit, and then that's all you got to do, right? So it's fun and easy. You're basically best friends with Shan Shan when you're done. And then here you go. So dear Mr. Whoever this person is, some dude, I'm writing in support of the jackboot's proposed new infringement that would help stem the rise of things I'm scared of. This proposed rule is a win for what I consider public safety because it's going to shift violence into a different tool, and a loss for anybody who wants to do things on their own without a background check or questions asked, because those are better. Guns that are ghosts may be the scariest and the fastest growing gun safety threat in the country and blah, blah, blah. We read all that. But then at the end, yeah, go ahead and put my name and address because that's cool. And when you put the name and address at the end, Shan Shan figures, guess what? Those are going to show up as individual comments. And so what if we dox everybody who participates? Whatever. Nobody cares about doxing on the internet. That's not an issue. And so now we can say that, like, if any of these people get a knock on their door or anything, oh, the extremists are out to get us or whatever, right? So yeah, that wasn't manipulated as shit. But whatever, we don't have nothing to worry about. Let's come up with excuses of why this ain't our problem, why this is somebody else's fault. So yeah, they're not necessarily copy and pasted because they're using a form. They're paying good money for that form. Gun Owners of America pays good money for that form also, or a similar form, so that they get tied right into, the API, the interface behind the scenes to systems like Gov, whatever this is called, regulations.gov. The access points cost money, and organizations spend good money to have that resource. Let's see. Commenting don't matter anyway. We have never gained any 2A ground, not with the past comment periods, not with constitutional carry, nothing ever. That's a good point. Yeah. That's why we basically live in tyranny. It's all tyranny. I like this one better still, though. What's the point of thousands of individuals coming to stop infringement when one person with massive amount of bot accounts can spam an amazing form letter? From the other side, they win. Yeah, good point. Yeah, if they can win, then why should we even try? Nobody else is trying, though. I feel like you're the only one coming up with excuses for us. So I feel like that's another excuse that Clover didn't come up with enough excuses for us. That'll be excuse number 26. Anyway, so this is frustrating. I don't know if anybody was counting. It certainly seemed like we're losing. There are some stuff happening. There's still some comments in there. I think it's, at least for me, it was pretty obvious that the ones that go, here's why I think that on Saturday the 14th of blah, 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 and then, eventually blah, 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 and that's why I don't like the infringement on this thing. Like, that's just being mean to whoever has to actually figure this shit out, if it's a human. I don't know so much about being mean to them. It's just that, come on, make the job easier so they can get it done. We're paying them. So if your goal is to waste tax money on making people have to read their thing, maybe that was inadvertently done when you put in a super wordy one. I think short and sweet. Don't do this. Here's the thing I'm talking about. Don't do it. Maybe a little bit at the end, like, and I hate you, or you're a bunch of idiots. Maybe not I hate you, but I hate what you're trying to do, and you're a bunch of idiots. Something like that might be fine. But I think definitely having a comment that was like, here's the thing that I don't want you to do. Quit doing it. Quit considering it, right? So it's our forms against their forms? No, I don't think so at all. Here's what we're looking at. We're looking at 226 comments received. 226,000 comments received, right? We have 153,000 comments approved. We can tell from other spurts when we've had pushes that they've been able to keep up with the comments. The 100,000 in 3 days was a lot, but they would have been able to come up and finished. I really think that they're not counting some spam. So this number is indicative of everything that comes in, and this is the number that they're going to pass on to the ATF. Or Crump, I think, said that they're going to, this dude said that, if I understand him, that they're probably going to still filter this down a little bit too. But even still, this discrepancy of 70,000 comments is something. And I don't think it's their lack of being able to keep up. Regulations.gov, like I say, I don't even know who they are, but let's give them credit because they just signed on to have to do this and they're having to do it. So they're doing their job. Thanks. But anyway, I don't think it's that. What I think it is of all the stuff we've been reading, it's been overwhelmingly pro freedom, pro individual ownership of property, pro education on what's going on versus fear and legislation of other people's rights. So there wasn't until just recently that these antis came up, and most of our rage has been about, should we have form letters on our side or should we write individual letters on our side? And something like 90,000 of the letters were a mix of those. And the GOA form letter allows you to mess with it too, right? You can add your own comments. So each one of those is a form with potential more writing in it. And as soon as you add more writing to it, it's a separate entity, I would imagine. So it's possible that every town has another thing that we're not aware of that pushes a straight form letter in, or it's possible that our side is wasting their time burning rubber with a form letter that is literally just a duplicate. And those, I think, is what we're seeing there. I think those 70,000 are duplicates. And the question is, are those 70,000 on our side? Because that would suck. If it's 70,000 on our side and they're not being counted because they are duplicates, then that's 70,000 people on our side who could have done something else and been an overwhelming support of our side. Instead, they're going to be removed from the table. And I suspect they're never going to tell us of the ones that were removed from the tables, they were pro or anti. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I never really paid attention in the past because we either won or we didn't, and we never went back and scrutinized the results. At least I haven't. So I don't know what's going on with that 70. I would love to think that 70,000 on the other side, where they're wasting their effort and they're spinning their wheels, and they all thought, they spent money on gas and they got in the car and they put their foot down, but they didn't go anywhere. That would be great. But I fear that it could be happening on our side, and we wouldn't know. Like I say, there's no indication that that's happening. We can see the Gunners America boilerplates coming up all the time with the paragraph or something in front of it, and there's still GOA boilerplates coming up with nothing, with just plain old boilerplate. And there's that lawyer boilerplate. There's about 3 or 4 boilerplates that come up often without anything else. So that doesn't lend to the idea that they're pulling out duplicates. So there's just no way to know. We're kind of shooting at the dark, which is another excuse. We can't know. So why should we even comment if we don't even know? So if you don't even know, then you can't even be expected to do anything. So there's another excuse for us. Anyway, that's a long ass answer to Smeggy's question about that, I guess. Let's see. And then we got anything else going on? I do believe we need to get the comments up, not so much because the result will be all that good, but I think that in my experience, there's benefit to getting people together. Even if it's a small groups, mobilize and add to the effort, that's accomplishment. And you don't have to win every battle to have to build esprit de corps within units, to build esprit de corps within, or build, or to create accomplishments and have small victories or little victories, or a bunch of little victories add up to a big victory. This isn't a loss yet. We could be watching a massive victory on our side, which, I would say it's probably 60 to 40% odds that it's a victory on our side. That's my suggestion. But I do think we got to get them up. Listen to them while at work. Thanks for the video earlier, posting the loot you got at the store. Thanks for that. Let's see. They're not getting rid of gun crime. They're unrealistically living a dream where no matter how many guns they seize from criminals, there are billions of unregistered guns owned by criminals. I don't even know how we're going to effectively illustrate that where the opium is being grown, that opium doesn't get emailed to the United States. It physically has to be picked up by somebody, put into some kind of a vehicle, and transported to wherever some junkie is, and then put into their system, right? So since that's not done electronically through servers and the internet tubes, and that has to be done physically, why would anyone not think that everything we left behind in Afghanistan isn't going to just be set on top of the fentanyl when it's shipped over here? So to suggest that by taking away guns from us, that the criminals aren't going to be able to steal them from us, which is the only justification from taking away property from people who haven't committed any crime with it or show no indication of committing crime, the only thing that they've got is to suggest that the stuff wouldn't exist if we didn't own it. Well, somebody gave them piles of it. So it's going to be really difficult for them to suggest that guns aren't in the world, in the pipeline of illegal drugs and stuff, when we can see massive evidence of it. Oh, I guess, yeah, you said it right there. Untold mountains of weapons given to the Taliban. Yep, absolutely. When we got loud during the first 2 terms of Obama, we did make a difference. Now it's that 3rd term we're seeing solid gains at a state level. That's a really great way to look at it too. So the echo or the consequence of winning is the political strategists understanding that our group, our community, our industry, whatever they want to call us, the gun owners are not to be messed with. And it takes a little while for us to forget. It took a new generation of gun owners to be around for them to have the balls to come at us again. Yeah, so I agree 100%. This is our time to just, even if we yell for no reason, we can scare the shit out of a bunch of people who can't handle being yelled at. Or I mean, even if we win without a victory or yell without a victory, that's what they say. Millions of gun owners and only that many comments. That's frustrating, but I wouldn't, look at it going backwards. Look at how many more comments we have now than before. Let's do that real quick. So if you go to Minuteman University, over on the right side, we've got a place for ATF comment periods because we've been talking about it so much. So the past couple of comment periods have had, well, the one that we won decisively was the M855, the green tipped 223 ammo that specifically was designed to be excluded from any kind of import regulations so that we could internationally source 5.56 if we ever were at war, right? We wanted to have factories of 5.56 around the planet. So if we ever needed it strategically, it would be there. And the idiots, the non-aware idiots wanted to ban the importation of M855, ban the importation of our military's ammo. So that was a little bit of a tough sell, but when it was put up for the comment period, 80,000 comments went in. And in 2015, 80,000 comments was enough for it to end a week early. So a 3-month-long comment period got 80,000 comments, and that was such a swell of interest that they ended it early, swept it under the rug, and acted like they never brought it up in the first place, right? So, thanks. I should probably link to that. So that's an indication that back then, any voice, anybody using the comment periods was enough for them to understand that that was an indication that people were behind those comments. But think about it, 2015, the internet, 80,000 comments, that was a different internet than today. 80,000 comments is not the same as 80,000 comments today. That was a lot of comments on a smaller, less sophisticated internet with less sophisticated means of suggestion, moving people's, getting people to call the actions out there. So realize that 2015 was a different internet. It wasn't a baby internet, but it was a different internet. That was before the big YouTube stuff. Now there's YouTube, now there's podcasts. You got Joe Rogan, right? You got giant news things, you got independent things, you got people that were pushed off the platforms and created new platforms. It's just a different world than before. 80,000 was enough for them to stop and stop short. 95,000 on the bump stock in 2018 was not enough for them to even consider. They just went ahead and banned them anyway. That was with Trump, with a Republican. So that was with 193 submitted. They only allowed 95. So they took less than half and approved them. And that was still not enough. Last time they did one was days before Christmas last year in 2020, days before Christmas. It didn't even last a week. And 7,000 comments were approved of 70,000. So in less than a week, in the days before Christmas, over 70,000 comments went in. Was that because I was making videos? Yes, it was almost single-handedly me. 73,000 were from my viewers. 500 were from the rest of the industry. But hey, that's another excuse. We can't be expected to save every one of these things. So this time, we're not pulling all that weight. So anyway, that was the end. That was the last comment periods. You really can't take anything from those comment periods and extrapolate them to now, other than they do have significance. Now, it'd be great. I think at this time, we need at least 300,000 comments in the thing, at least 500,000 to make it a hands down where they'd quit using the comment periods ever. I think if we had 1 million comments go in there, they'd quit. They would be 1995 again. They would figure out that guns are off their radar. I don't think we can get 1 million before tomorrow, but how many videos get 1 million views in one day? Is there anything that's ever made a call to action where people had to push a button 1 million times? I don't know if that's precedent setting or not. I don't suspect it's probably not. Let's see. Where were we at? Okay, so those were stolen from the embassy. Doesn't matter. They're in the hands and they're in the supply chain now. They're in circulation. And there's no way that they care about something like, something that would be useful over here isn't necessarily going to be useful over there. So they'd be more than happy to sell it to whoever they're selling their fentanyl to. I'm sure. I'm assuming. I'm just assuming what's like over there. Under Obama, we had the first Fast and Furious. They had the Fast and Furious. Now under Biden, we have supplying the Taliban with massive weapons. Yet we the people are the gun problems. It's going to be more difficult for them to not. It's going to be more difficult for them to justify their position when we have illustrated that effectively. That's education. You can't expect your adversaries to understand your position. In fact, they're going to do everything they can to not understand your position. So it's our job to educate, not just run around and pout and be upset because we're right, but educate. We have all the potential in the world right now. Look at all those photographs. It's fresh on everyone's mind. This is when national level gun and leadership would be pushing. This is when I expect FPC to be pushing hard on this because they're the most reactive. But this is when the big 3-letter organizations have everything to lose. This is when they could be never letting people forget this. This is definitely a faux pas on the other side, a dumbass move on the other side that they should never be able to be let down. There's no way that they can justify a world where fentanyl comes from the same country where all those guns are to suggest that we have anything to do with the gun problem. In fact, can you imagine what the drug dealers and stuff are going to have now? They could literally have drones. What's stopping them from having drones? Big ass drones. Instead of putting warheads in them, they just put all their drugs in them, fly them around. It's like Amazon, except they don't have to follow any rules. So they just send drones to each other's houses dropping fentanyl supplies. And anytime law enforcement tries to mess with them, they shoot it down with an F-15 or a Black Hawk. Maybe that'll be tougher. The Black Hawks will probably stay in Mexico. Let's see. Only time for any tiny fraction of gun owners actually get involved. That's always though. It's every time, always. I mean, the Revolutionary War was 3%. Isn't that where 3% comes from? So don't expect everybody. Then you just get frustrated. Get frustrated when the 3% sit around sleeping. When the 3% are selling you Canics, that's when it's annoying. I like Soviet pies. All right. I don't think they eat pies in Russia, but whatever. The cartels use drug money to purchase mountains of weapons to protect their products. That's why Mexico is so bad with the violence. Yeah. Absolutely afraid of us, or they wouldn't have sent their manic mom bots out to comment in bulk. I think it's more than that. They're not afraid of us. They're using us as a distraction. First, they've got all gun owners not paying attention to the mountains of debt that they're incurring. We're all frustrated over here. They've got us messing with our tactics. They're effectively putting pressure on our cracks, on our divides. And by putting up more than one initiative at a time, having 2 comment periods, an ATF director nominee, having stupid stuff happening in Congress, they're effectively taking gun owners, the gun community, in our industry off the table. And now by doing this distraction, bigger, further, it's not like they did it just because of the distraction, but now they get this extra distraction. They are loving the fact of this. So yeah, it's definitely a trick on our side to keep focus, not stop at every barking dog, I think is how Tony Simon says it, on our way to the goal. And understand that the people behind us, the first people that walk through, again, the national level leadership should be going after the NFA right now. There's no way they can defend the NFA. I think that you're right, that these are indications that they are not desperate, but that they are desperate for us to not figure out that we're in control right now. And national level leadership would be attacking the NFA, would be not even bothering to get everybody together, just going after the NFA. And then they would get the support to remove the NFA. And once the NFA's gone, all the FUDs would be like, oh, I can buy my grandpa's machine gun, and everybody be on board. And then we'd figure out that there's not even FUDs. FUDs would be like in old Thompsons instead of stupid Scorpions or something, or old Scorpions instead of new Scorpions, back when a Scorpion was in a decent caliber. Anything else? They got choppers. Yep, they got Blackhawks. They got more Blackhawks than any standing army besides us. I don't know. They got a lot of Blackhawks, but not just the Blackhawks. They got all the support stuff to them, the instructions and all the codes to all the crap in them. It's not like Blackhawks are just empty helicopters. They put electronics in them now. They even have radios and things to look out of. Yeah, that's how we got a lot of their stuff too. Now, if the cartels were smart, they would just bring all that stuff back over here and sell it, and everybody would buy it. Then they'd really be scared. Everybody would be scared. Well, except us. Piles of Soviet weapons getting chopper. Speaking of gun control, Taliban started. Yep. And again, now is not time to make stupid memes and rub people's faces in it. Now is the time to mobilize people with the actual real life, real time realization that what we suggest is happening, and that they can't, it's going to be really difficult for them to push their emotions aside. When, if you listen to NPR right now, they hate Biden. They just signed death sentences to every female in that whole entire country, and they know it. So this isn't a time to do stupid, haha, gotcha, kick back and lean into the like, our side's winning, so let's be happy. Now is the time to get real and to start talking to them at a real level about why they think gun control doesn't apply or should apply here, when the rest of the world is literally in different situations, or in the same situation as all of us. But whatever. So there's Ghost showing up. But I think now we're just blabbing about news. I could care less about news. News is what distracts us from initiatives that we have opportunity to be working together on, not together like in lockstep, not together like we got to be friends with people who are unscrupulous, exploiters, losers, bullies. No, but if we all know that there's common goals, we can work in unison. We can work as individuals towards that goal. Once we've accomplished it, look back and see what worked, do after actions, evaluate, redetermine who's worth, right? Who's got worth, like Locked and Loaded was trying to say yesterday. You can't hold people accountable for something they did when they were young. However, you certainly hold people accountable for their continued actions over time. People who cower away and walk back into the limelight when there's time to make money, and then cower away when there's real work to be done, should never be given quarter. But that's a whole nother topic. I guess with that, we'll see what this last one is. Good luck with blowing it off, but I guess that's a good excuse. We'll see what happens. Anyway, so go watch somebody else for the news. Let's see what the poll said over here. Will we win? Nice. I like that. We'll end it with that. And yeah, so I think we came up with a bunch of creative excuses. I think Clover, though, has hands down won, because first, he was the only one who even participated, and second, because of this brace one. I do believe that it is unscrupulous that when there's children out there that can't even smile, you gun people are thinking about putting braces on pistols.
So let us know what you think. We'll be watching the comments wherever you find the video, over on gunstreamer.com or on guntube.org.
Thank you for supporting our projects. If you'd like to buy us a cup of coffee, check out our Patreon channel.
The guys and gals of gunwebsites.com encourages you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thank you for watching gunwebsites.com.